The Crown's procession to Parliament. A practice with centuries of precedent. But this year, deeply unprecedented. The Queen absent from this royal ritual for the first time in 59 years. These uneasy times for the royal family and the nation.
Are you doing enough to help people, Prime Minister?
Unease for this man too, leading the country into a cost of living crisis. But while the actors may change, the traditions endure. Black Rod beckoning MPs to the Lords. Led by two adversaries in this moment forced to make small talk. But for this PM, the challenge anything but small, faced with the biggest cost of living crisis in decades.
Her Majesty's government's priority is to grow and strengthen the economy and help ease the cost of living for families. Her Majesty's government will level up opportunity in all parts of the country and support more people into work.
But this Queen's speech as much about politics as policy. This embattled PM keen to throw some red meat to restive backbenchers.
Her Majesty's government will continue to seize the opportunities of the United Kingdom's departure from the European Union to support economic growth.
The programme for government delivered in one chamber and later debated in the other. The prospects for economic growth looking slim and the Chancellor's face summing it up, as the Labour leader warned over the toxic mix of inflation and recession.
We are staring down the barrel of something we haven't seen in decades, a stagflation crisis. It is a truly shocking legacy of this government. A government of the moment would use the great powers that it has to tackle this head-on. Bring forward an emergency budget.
This PM having none of it. What, he said, looking to his Chancellor for comfort, but finding little support. The PM making promises Number 11 won't deliver.
We will continue to use all our ingenuity and compassion for as long as it takes. And my right honourable friend, the Chancellor, and I will be saying more about this in the days to come.
But the Treasury later saying no emergency budget is to be expected for now. Confusion opposition parties will exploit.
This should have been a cost of living Queen's speech. And there was a hint in the Prime Minister's speech, I don't know if you caught it. He said that there was going to be some measures brought forward by himself and the Chancellor in the next few days. Yet the Treasury are saying they have no idea what the Prime Minister is referring to. So it would be wonderful if at least a minister from the front bench could enlighten the House.
Former Prime Ministers and ministers on Boris Johnson's own backbenches have similar concerns.
I rather agree with some of the points coming from some of the opposition benches about the need for an emergency budget. There's certainly need to act quickly. And the Prime Minister, I think, used the phrase deploying our fiscal firepower. Well, we need to deploy our fiscal firepower now when our constituents need it.
The cost of living crisis is making life difficult for many across the country. We have rising inflation, the need to restore public finances. As we level up across the country, we should ensure that we're a government that doesn't just work for certain parts of the country, but a government that truly works for everyone.
Work to do with the public and work to do with his party too. This evening a charm offensive underway with hundreds of Conservative MPs invited to Number 10. After a bruising set of elections and rougher times ahead, he'll need their support to survive. Beth Rigby, Sky News, Westminster.